So the Packers have come in and signed 6 more undrafted free agents after Saturday. Lots of these guys were signed really late Saturday and then coming into Sunday as well. I already covered 10 other undrafted free agents that were already signed by the Packers on a late Saturday night video. So I sort of want to go through these 6 new ones that I haven't yet covered on this channel and sort of go through a little bit about each of these guys. And so now I believe the Packers are around 16 undrafted free agents, and we'll see if they decide to come in and sign more or sort of stick with the group they have. But I feel like they'll probably end up signing a few more different guys, but we will see what happens there. If you guys haven't subscribed and you like Packers content, I put it out daily on this channel. So if you're into that, feel free to subscribe to the channel down below. So first off, we have Wisconsin wide receiver Danny Davis, 6 foot, 196 pounds, runs a 4.5 40. So the Packers come and get another wide receiver. Here is an excerpt on him from Bucky'sFifthQuarter.com saying, strengths. Davis came to Madison and almost immediately made an impact. He has shown consistent hands throughout his career in Madison. He's an NFL-level route runner, showing the ability to get in and out of his breaks to create separation. Tracks the ball well on deep throws, willing blocker weakness. Davis is a smooth athlete but lacks dynamic burst. Needs to increase play strength, willing blocker but often shucked off of blocks. Little special teams experience. Then we have another wide receiver, Missouri wide receiver Kiki Chism, 6'4", 209 pounds, so a pretty big guy, but he runs a 4.69 40, which is one of his weaknesses, is his speed, but he's also a solid blocker, which we know Matt LaFleur loves those guys who can block. Christian Watson, or Matt LaFleur recently, when he talked about Christian Watson in a press conference, discussed his blocking ability, so that's great as well, but this guy's a good run blocker too. So he says outlook here from rockmnation.com. Chism was a solid college wide receiver who will need to add significant value on special teams to stick in the NFL. His speed limitations are going to be an issue for teams looking for a receiver who can create some separation for their respective quarterback. A position change to tight end might be necessary. So it looks like it could be possible that maybe the Packers could move him to tight end if they decide that they don't want him as wide receiver, but who knows if they'll do that or not. Then we have Oklahoma State safety Trey Sterling, 5'11", 205-pound free safety. He actually missed most of his senior year with a wrist injury, which is sort of one of the reasons he fell. And so if he wouldn't have had this wrist injury and missed lots of his senior year, he probably would have been drafted a lot higher. So the Packers could potentially get a steal here. Here's an excerpt from PFF discussing his abilities. They say, Sterling ranked 7th among qualified FBS safeties with an 82.1 overall PFF grade and an 85.3 coverage grade. I believe this is in 2020, I believe. It was a continuation of an impressive sophomore campaign in Sterling's first year as a starter, when he ranked 4th among qualified Big 12 safeties with a 78.1 PFF grade and 6th with an 83.7 coverage grade. His 90.2 coverage grade across his 2019 and 2020 seasons was tied for the 7th highest among FBS safeties with at least 300 snaps and 25 targets in that span. He led all qualified FBS safeties in defensive stops, 66, between 2019 and 2020, while playing all over the field in the Cowboys defense. So he seemed to be a very productive safety both in 2019 and 2020, and he only played like 100-something snaps in 2021 because of that injury I already mentioned. And when we came into the draft, one of the needs I think for the Packers was safety. We didn't address it till the 7th round when we came in and drafted Tariq Carpenter, who was a really large guy, 6'3", 200-something pounds, and he seems like one of the big reasons the Packers drafted him is because of his special teams ability. And so I think to come in and add Trey Sterling as an undrafted free agent, he could potentially add some depth to the safety room if the Packers, decide to bring him on the roster. But of course, all these guys will be competing for roster spots. Lots of these guys won't make the roster, but we have seen in the past some different players, undrafted free agents, make the roster. Like Josh Nijman, for example, was a undrafted free agent. So we'll see if he can add some depth to this Packers safety room. Then we have Texas A&M offensive lineman Jameer Johnson, 6'4", 290 pounds. Here's from Sports Illustrated. Jameer Johnson projects to be a developmental offensive tackle at the next level. He wins using his length, understanding of aiming points, and physical play style. His inconsistent technique and lack of core strength will limit his ability to be a solid starter at the next level. If he can work on technique, he could develop into a backup tackle. Then we have another offensive lineman, Oregon offensive lineman George Moore, 6'6", 305 pounds. Here from Sports Illustrated. Rotational left tackle with good size and poor athleticism. Moore lacks core strength, agility, and leg drive. His hands are indecisive, and he takes poor angles. Moore rejects as a minicamp invite due to his size, who has too many holes in his game and a lack of athletic traits to prevail at any offensive line position in the NFL. So the Packers have really added lots of offensive linemen, not only in the draft with 3 being added, but also in as these undrafted free agents as well. So we know that Gutekunst loves to protect the quarterback, which I think clearly is a big need I mean, if you're an NFL team, you need to protect the quarterback. You need to create, running lanes for your running back. So the Packers ensuring that they will be fine at the offensive line position. Then we have the final one here, FAU linebacker Khalif Bryce, 6'2", 233 pounds. Here's from upressonline.com. Bryce is a great team tackler and on-field leader for the Owls and will bring a high IQ to an NFL franchise if selected in this year's draft. He has shown that he can make quick moves past opposing linemen to get into the backfield and disrupt the quarterback's motion. Bryce participated in the 2022 Pro Day at FAU, showcasing his skills. He ran a 4.5 40 and had a 37.5-inch vertical jump, which is how the average NFL linebacker grades out. Bryce will be a solid addition to an NFL team seeking inside linebacker depth to help with run defense, possessing a knack for closing gaps. He will make a good third option for teams that utilize one inside linebacker and a fourth option for teams that utilize two. So when it comes to linebacker, I think coming into this draft, at least me personally, I didn't see linebacker as a need because we had Devondre Campbell. And so initially when the Packers drafted Quay Walker, I was a little bit slightly shocked. But now looking at sort of Quay Walker and just how athletic he is and the kind of player he could be, I mean, inside linebacker it will probably honestly be one of the strengths of this Packers team, which for a few years, that definitely wasn't the case. I think obviously adding Devondre Campbell helped last year. And now to have Quay Walker, the Packers, I think, could keep, two linebackers on the field for, a lot more than they have in the past. And that's one thing Brian Gutekunst mentioned, is that ability for the Packers to, utilize two inside linebackers on the field. Packers clearly favoring the linebacker position, adding another one there as an undrafted free agent. So I will keep you up to date if any more do get signed in the next few days. But it's always fun to see, which players compete and make it to the, to the top. Some guys will make it, some guys will not make it. There will be lots of competition. And, throughout this summer, throughout the different camps, training camp, all those different things, I'll keep you guys updated on everything going down for the Packers. So if you haven't followed me on Twitter, I put out more Packers stuff over there, Luke_Beller. And if you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe. I think we're 70 subscribers away from 19,000. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed recently with the draft and everything going on. But that is all for this video, and I'll see you guys next time.